Hello everyone, my friends. We're live, and I just want to say how truly delighted and overjoyed I am that we have this wonderful opportunity to connect and engage with each other like this again. All the topics that I will raise today, youth, longevity, yes, indeed, actually, everyone is interested in this. I think it's absolutely clear that when you're definitely in your 20s and 30s, yes, it all seems not so significant. Believe me, as you age, especially after reaching the age of 40, you already begin to feel a certain undeniable sense or feeling that makes you realize the importance of being both physically healthy and mentally happy. I want absolutely nothing to hurt, nothing to. You want things not to sag, not to fail you, and to avoid any processes in your body that aren't exactly positive, so to speak, age-related ones. People think there's nothing you can do about it, that you can't escape it. Like age. When you go to the hospital, they say, well, what you wanted. Age is already here, that's just how it is. And, of course, thank God, I haven't been to the hospital in a long time and all that, but still, I come across people who reach out. I do certain things at retreats, and we also look into some cases. Yeah, we see what's happening with people and what can actually be done about it. And, you know, the truth is, there are things that can be done. There are indeed reasons for it, and there's tension in the body. We look at cases. Everyone knows, one way or another, that our body holds this mental content, this mental tension inside, in various ways in different forms and manifestations within us. One way or another, it hides it. And it hides it so skillfully that it even hides it from your own awareness. So you look inside yourself, and it seems like everything's fine. I'm doing just fine. You start to dig deeper, activating a certain frequency, doing some special exercises from yoga or other systems. You look over here, and yeah, this way feels better, but that way feels worse. This way is better. It just doesn't turn that way. Here, this muscle isn't relaxing, and it turns out there's a spasm, tightness that's been there for a long time. You understand that if you don't address this now, it will persist, disrupting circulation and interfering with processes. It disrupts blood circulation and innervation in tissues, interfering with body processes. This tension leads to energy loss, stressing the body, tensing muscles, and consuming energy. It depletes your potential, consuming what you gained during sleep and from birth. And in the end, this tension leads to a loss of energy, meaning the body is under stress. Some muscles inside are tense, and in that moment of tension, they consume energy, so this tension eats away at your potential gradually and silently. It consumes what you're given by God during the night while you sleep, and from the moment you were born. So, a person has some kind of energy. As long as it exists, we live. When it gets depleted, it eventually runs out, and a person starts to experience other processes. In the end, health is lost. First, tissue changes happen, and then it becomes a vicious cycle, right? One thing leads to another, which leads to this, that, and so on, and it just keeps building on each other more and more until it all takes over. If you don't take care of yourself, well, as they say, a person slowly falls apart. Let's make an analogy, friends, about whatever you want. Take a car. A car runs for a certain amount of time, and then it definitely needs to be taken in for a checkup. They check to see that the indicators are worn out, the brake discs are worn, the tires are worn, the clutch is worn, and if something else isn't working right, they cancel it. So, a car needs maintenance and repairs. Take a computer if you don't. Clean it if you install one program, then another, the 5th, the 10th, and clutter it up with all sorts of junk. It stops working. because there are a lot of shady files that are unnecessary and unwanted, which just consume a significant amount of memory and hog the processor's work. And here, it actually looks very much like the exact same things. So, in a way, you're just like a biological machine, and in a way, you're the same as a mental computer. And if you don't deal with these things, if you don't periodically get a checkup and maintenance, and inspections, and evaluations, and assessments, and reviews, and diagnostics, and servicing, and upkeep, well, the system gets overloaded. I believe that the main principle of aging, in general, for a person, is overload. This means that the metabolic processes in the 5-element balance get disrupted, the yin-yang balance is thrown off, and there are other disturbances. One organ might lag behind, or a strong psychological trauma can lead to panic states or situations where a person feels overwhelmed. You tell them, hey, just calm down, sit down, meditate. The person says, no, it's all me, I'm dying, my body is melting away, I'm dying. You say, look, it's clear that the system is overloaded, right? It's overloaded. Well, to unload it, you need to sit down, calm yourself, right? Go inside yourself and tidy things up. No, I'm dying. You understand, right? Just like that. And, of course, there's a way to have some influence. But a person also influences themselves. And outside influence always comes with the risk that a person doesn't tidy things up on their own. People often don't reassess their issues. They are mechanical, needing self-improvement drive. They don't recognize the switches between these dominant traits. They don't realize their conceptual frameworks that shape how they perceive information and how they express it all. So, a person is, to some extent, a mechanical being, and within that mechanical aspect, there needs to be a personal impulse and a desire to work on oneself. And not just a desire, but a strong understanding that it's absolutely, definitely better to do nothing than to do it this way. If this is the case, then there will be changes. Feeling sorry for yourself means nothing changes. Without steps towards change, things stay the same. The past won't return. If you don't pursue change, things remain as they are. Then there will be changes. If a person keeps feeling sorry for themselves, saying, oh, I tried this, but it didn't work, and I'm feeling bad, it's so hard, and just sits there whining and complaining, this is definitely not just a problem, it's a plague of our time. This issue is not just a minor inconvenience, but a significant challenge that affects many aspects of modern life. People have gotten used to complaining. People have become accustomed to expressing dissatisfaction frequently. This leads to a distorted perception of reality, where subjective feelings are mistaken for objective truths. So, friends, what am I suggesting? Divine healing helps address dysfunction effectively. There's a formula that can adjust positions to address the dysfunction. If it takes hold, changes occur in tissues, the mental body, and you'll feel sensations. Yes, there's a formula that can enter into superpositions, adjusting its position so it can work through the dysfunction you're focused on. If it grasps that, changes will occur, changes in the tissues, changes in the mental body, and you'll experience certain sensations. Even for the insensitive, they'll feel something inside has started to shift, something is changing. If she grabs it, tissues, mind, sensations change. Even those who are generally less sensitive will still feel that something inside has started to shift, that something is changing. And along with that, something in their mental state will change too. and it's been definitely proven to have a positive therapeutic effect. Tens of thousands of times, and we see that it's the same everywhere. There are positive effects everywhere. Because there are things that you definitely don't need. That is, these are blocks, these are problems. If you found a problem within yourself, it can help address it. I'm going to show you right now. This vibration, frequency that can tackle that problem and start to grind it down. In my opinion, it's like a treasure trove. I know people who only work with this frequency. They don't do anything else. That's enough for them. They say that as soon as I find a problem, I give it a push, and the person will be in readaptation for several weeks. Let's do a little practice together right now. Let's get comfortable. I won't explain all this for lawn, empty bamboo, and so on. If you don't know how to do it, grab another video that's just empty talk and give that a shot. If you do know how, then let's do it together. Let's take a deep breath, drawing energy from the ground into our bellies, smile at our hearts, and feel how it smiles back at us. If you know how, then let's do it together. We take in energy from the ground into our belly as we breathe in, smile at our heart, and feel it smiling back at us. We shift our focus to our head and kind of open it up to the light, pulling our attention back and entering the empty bamboo. We certainly do indeed feel our body as a hollow, empty tube. And truly, with our attention, we step outside of our body, looking back at ourselves from behind, from the side, and beyond. I'm activating the frequency of divine healing to fully embrace and channel these energies for optimal well-being. All you need to do is find the problem within yourself so that this vibration can grab hold of it. And after the process has started, we simply observe without judging whether it is good, bad, right, wrong. We just sit and observe. What's happening in the body? If nothing is happening at all, just observe your breath and the sensations in your body. Maybe later someone will tell you that you've changed. Or maybe not. We just sit. And we come back, wiggling our fingers and toes, taking a deep breath, and opening our eyes. The process will continue for several days, maybe even hours. So, you need to calmly, in a composed and relaxed manner, acknowledge and fully accept that something significant has started, and for a while, it will be processed by the system. Of course, you need to understand that there are, so to speak, two problems. Find the problem and get rid of it. Find another one, the next one, and get rid of it. They lie on a person in layers, and throughout life, a person can either accumulate new layers or unravel the ones that have already been gathered. Some individuals are born into this world with a multitude of complex layers already firmly established, while others arrive with a relatively minimal number of layers, or perhaps some prior experiences, a bit of knowledge, or their own personal inner revelations, insights, understanding, and wisdom. All people are different. And the issue is often that you need to learn how to scan properly and accurately, and you need to learn how to understand correctly. What a true psycho-emotional blockage really is, where exactly this mental tension is actually located precisely inside my body, and how to effectively get rid of it. That is, if we can remove it, then accordingly we can. We can become younger, more productive in our daily lives, and more energetic, meaning we'll use less energy because nothing is draining us. There's no heavy emotional baggage just hanging around inside. So, we need to let go of all these tales. We need to shed everything that was, everything that might be, any tensions that are, so to speak, dysfunctions of the future. There are various global dysfunctions that may relate to the army of a country, the army of a lineage, or the army of the planet, and these dysfunctions can have far-reaching impacts on society and the world at large. So they also have an impact on a person. There are some egregorial systems that also affect a person. And one way or another, there are influences that we can't get rid of. We just can't. Let's say, some ancestral things are written in our cells. That is, it happened with your family, with your ancestors, with one of them. And it has been passed down through the lineage, let's say, to you. But this tension, whatever it may be, can be carefully and meticulously distributed in such a way that it does not lie somewhere in a piece and, so to speak, create compensatory tensions, and subsequently create these distortions, but by distributing the load in a balanced and harmonious manner along the entire edge of the cocoon, a person actually becomes stronger and thus more resilient and adaptable. That is, in essence, any given problem, if it is not able to be solved directly, can be turned into a resource in a straightforward manner. In fact, there are a lot of interesting mechanisms both from the point of view of scanning and searching for these problems, and from the point of view of their solution, from the point of view of how we can work them out. Of course, you can't explain everything in just 3 words live for everyone who's eager to know. But you need to understand that we've created a lot of courses specifically for you in a way that is comprehensive and detailed, and practices that you can go through, and thoroughly, with dedication and focus. And also, friends, there's going to be a retreat in the beautiful and serene island of Bali, known for its tranquil beaches and lush landscapes, really soon, where I'll share all the mechanisms and insights I have gathered over the years to find and effectively work through various dysfunctions in our lives that I believe make a person feel heavier and less agile, kind of like a person becomes stiff and burdensome over time, losing the lightness of being. If you shed these bags, in essence, so to speak, as a burden, then you'll have greater freedom of movement left. And this mobility in your spine, in your muscles and tissues, reflects the mobility in your mind. So, you don't become stiff-like. People usually do, right? They say, "Oh, that's for the young," or "Oh, I can't do that." No, you keep up with the times and stay updated. You make use of modern technology. You harness the power of artificial intelligence. Use the cryptosphere in your daily activities. Take full advantage of all the latest trendy innovations and developments, because you have enough energy and smarts to support all these processes. I believe that every person has a huge amount of opportunities. These opportunities are always right next to you. But for one reason or another, people relying on their blockages instead of using these opportunities for their own growth and development, for the growth of their financial situation, for the growth of their social life, and for their family. People often lean on their past problems and challenges, relying on their experiences and struggles that they've carefully processed in one way or another. They complain about how hard it is for them, how bad they feel, saying things like, "This isn't right, I would do this, of course, but..." So often these buts come up, and relying on these hesitations and doubts, which are deeply rooted in various psychological dysfunctions, a person finds countless reasons not to seize opportunities instead of using their brains and taking advantage of those opportunities. So, friends, your psyche, health, youth, happiness, well-being, and everything else is entirely dependent on how you use the divine gift of life that you've been given in your life. What are you doing with this life? How do you organize it within yourself? This primarily reflects on your body. Yeah, it's clear that you need to follow your inner calling. You need to understand yourself and, most importantly, not lie to yourself. But that's not enough. You also need to learn how to identify and work through those psycho-emotional dysfunctions that aren't visible at first glance. So you sat down, so you sit, an hour has passed, everything is fine, nothing has changed. That's great, that's very cool, but it's not really true because you 100% have blocks that you don't see, and in a few years they will make themselves known. That's the reality. Yet, I notice younger people already show age signs I don't. Thus, they miss potential, losing youth hard to regain. But at the same time, I see that people who are 28 years old, 35 years old, in their lives and experiences, they have often already stepped beyond the threshold of those age-related physical manifestations and changes in the physical body that I do not have in various ways. So, I realize that people are already missing out on their potential in various aspects of their lives, and any doctor will tell you that it's impossible. But I'll tell you, it's not just possible, but absolutely achievable at any stage of life, regardless of your age or the number of challenges and difficulties you face in your physical body. As long as you're alive and breathing, it's entirely possible to turn back that aging process. Maybe you just need to work on it. We need to adopt modern self-regulation mechanisms. You need to understand how it works. You need to meditate. You need to meditate. You need to work on yourself. You need to find someone who can help you and follow their instructions. That's it. And indeed, little by little, happiness and youth will return to your life. Even if you can't attend my retreat, join online for a 10-day experience. I will guide you through the process, addressing your inner tension. You can go through all of this for 10 days, just like we're doing now. You'll be watching, and I'll explain everything. We'll scan together with you. I'll have your photos, and I'll be working with each of you. We'll work through a huge amount of tension inside you. Join this wonderful opportunity. I'm looking forward to seeing you on my birthday. Thank you, everyone. Goodbye, everyone.